Well, you wonder how the gas company people will respond. Bret Lane is the VP of Field Services for SoCal Gas. Thanks for being here, Bret.
Hi, thanks for having us on the show.
So when there is a major earthquake, it's not just the buildings and the possible collapse, but you can't help but think of fires, and you can't help but think of the natural gas lines. And to avoid anything terrible like what hit San Bruno recently, that wasn't an earthquake, or Northridge, where there was the toppling of gas appliances and gas-related fires. What worries you most when we think about all this and in preparation for the shakeout and just kind of thinking and getting ready?
Well, the big thing that we stress for all those, from a residential or your general home perspective is know where your gas meter is. In fact, what we suggest is if you have find a wrench now that fits the meter, actually tie it to it and just leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
In the event, though, that we do have an earthquake like we had at Northridge or the one recently down in Mexico. We actually ask you not to turn the gas meter off unless you actually see signs of either you smell gas, but we're saying also don't rely just totally on your sense of smell. Also, if you hear a hissing sound or if there's some other visible sign, then please go turn it off. The reason we do that is if you go out and just shut it off and that there's no danger, depending upon how large the event was, it could take a few days before we can get out to turn the meter back on and get you back in service.
And so really the biggest issue tied to gas is interruption of service and power outage, right?
Well, I think from most people's perspective, at the home. Now for us, I'm responsible for all the gas system for both the gas company and down south SDG&E.
Mm-hmm.
We're obviously monitoring it that in an event of any type of quake that occurs, and we'll look at the magnitude of it. We have a control center close to downtown Los Angeles that operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where we monitor the pressure in our pipelines, particularly the bigger pipelines. If we do have a quake, we work with Caltech quite a bit. We can quickly see from the shake map where it was, the intensity of it. We'll actually deploy our people in the field. We'll do what's called patrols or leak surveys. We do these on a frequency anyway, but we'll go out and do it from a special perspective just to make sure that we don't have any damage from it. Mm-hmm. The other piece that we do from an engineering or design perspective, again, working with some of the agencies and some of the schools in Southern California, we track most of the active faults that are out here, and we know where our lines cross those faults. And we actually have some different engineering designs for our pipelines when they go across, and we will install valves in certain locations. They're called automatic valves that if something happened to occur to that line and there was some damage to it,
oh really?
The valve would actually automatically close.
Oh, that's nice to know. Okay.
Yeah. So we take this one very seriously. Actually, for Southern California, we've had a program going on for many years for the smaller lines in the street, of what we call our distribution lines that operate with lower pressure, and then the lines that are going from the street to your home. We've converted the vast majority of those to what we call plastic. It's a type of plastic line that has a lot of movement to it.
That's what you want, right? You want those buried ones, especially to move with the earth, right?
Exactly, so it gives more flexibility, and I think even with Northridge, that's the one thing we saw was that we actually didn't have that much damage from that quake.
Mm-hmm. So how would we be able to know if the gas line leading to our home, let's say, was not holding up? We wouldn't be able to know, would we?
Well, if in the event of a line, that it had some sort of damage to it and there was leaking going on, again, the best thing for the general public is really rely on your senses. And again, we do place a type of chemical in the gas. Natural gas
right.
by itself is odorless. And it has that very distinctive rotten egg smell.
Oh, yeah, I'm a canary. I can smell that. I always tell my husband, it's time, call the gas company. It's in that kitchen. It's I can smell it.
Exactly. So, call us up. We have our 800 number, 800-427-2200. We will deploy a technician out. They have special devices that actually can pick up if there is natural gas, which is mainly methane, in or around the area. But also, you use your other senses. That if something just doesn't look right, or you hear a hissing sound, the one thing we would ask also is if you're in your home and you smell it or see it, or if you're outside, get yourself away from that area. Don't light a match. Don't turn off or on any electrical appliance. Don't start your car. Just get yourself a safe distance. Go to a neighbor's house and make the call to the gas company, or if needed, call 911.
And a good reason to have a landline that isn't necessarily a cordless phone.
Yeah, exactly. That
plug in the wall.
Having lived in Northridge when that quake occurred, you don't have a lot of your services anyway. So just having that backup and spare. And I was listening earlier to some of the preparedness pieces. I can give firsthand experience of you can't be prepared enough for those events. Think about that. But again, on something like that, just get away from the leak. Get or what you think you smell or see or hear. A safe distance, and then have someone or help you get a call in to us.
So bottom line, know how to turn off your gas. We always should know that, but don't necessarily just automatically turn it off.
Yes, that's what we ask. Again, the best thing that somebody can do, though, again, is number one, make sure they know where that meter is, and then go ahead and have a wrench, and, it can be an older one, it's fine, that fits on the meter, and just tie it off with a piece of string, and that way you always know. It's back to the preparedness piece. It's there.
And we can go to your website, too, SoCalGas.com, and we can get a sense of how many of these distribution lines that you're constantly monitoring. I mean, it's amazing.
Yes, that is the one thing that we did in the last couple of weeks with the heightened interest and the concern out of the tragedy that occurred up north. This information had previously been available on a national website. We wanted to make it easier for all the customers. So if you go on there and you'll see safety, pipeline safety prominently displayed up front, you can click on it, and then you'll see a section that's actually highlighted in red, and it'll pull up our system of transmission and our high-pressure distribution lines. You can actually drill into your neighborhood, and you can see generally where the pipelines are going around the streets.
Cool. Well, thank you, Bret Lane. He's the VP of Field Services with the gas company. Thanks for sharing some insight with us today.